Welcome back to Watching Business Incorporated on Channels Television. We head to the markets now with Anete Edit. Anete, you're coming with another red market, day two.
Day two. Intraday, yes.
Is it because your tie is red?
I think I like my red tie, but I don't like... Some people may like this because it's an opportunity to come into the market. Because, of course, the reds, sometimes it may be not to an advantage to people who are in the market, but an advantage for those who would want to take advantage of the lower price of stocks. Exactly. Okay. So it's one side for one investor, another side for another investor. But let's talk more about the intraday market numbers. 0.22% for Nigerian stock market, 96,000. Of course, we were talking about, we were very optimistic that the market index, the benchmark index of the listed equities, more than 160 listed equities on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. But that number, it failed to live up to that expectation or what we were expecting it to climb into the 97,000 points. So 96,326.53, that was the last track for the all-share index of the Nigerian stock market. And of course, we see yesterday, we saw, first of all, we're talking about Owando making the markets to be in the green at the close of Tuesday's trading session. But for midweek, the same Owando was one of the main factors, as well as 32 other stocks, which countered the gains, which was recorded from 21 equities, while 62 were unchanged for Wednesday. But at the moment, we still see profit taking across the 5 key counters of the market. That's talking about Nigeria's all-share index. Now, for the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, the GSE ASI down 0.15% at intraday, and of course, it has also receded below from 83 to 82, and now almost just it's still supporting itself at 81,788.94. And for the other sides of the African stock markets, EGX30 were in the green, so there's more of a mixed picture for the market numbers on the African continent. For the EGX30, that's where you see the 31,037.28. And for the Nairobi Stock Exchange, it has managed to also climb into a higher territory, 105.20 points at intraday, 0.10%, which is for the close of midweek trading session as at yesterday. So that's it for the African market that we're looking at intraday. And now let's talk more about, first we had that, the milestone domestic dollar bond, which is about $500 million bond, which is was announced on August the 19th by the finance minister, where Nigeria was targeting idle funds in domiciliary accounts of Nigerian savings abroad, as well as Nigeria diaspora and qualified institutional investors. That bond was priced at about $10,000 to enable those with that amount to come into the market and also take advantage of the government's investment strategy, which is aimed at stabilizing the exchange rate and enhancing forex currency reserves, as well as also to manage inflation and reduce interest rates. So now that dollar bond will be the announcement of the results is expected to be announced very soon, and then we'll also take a look at yesterday's Treasury bills auction carried out by the central bank. So now, to give us more details about that, let's bring in Senator Audu, fixed income and forex market analyst, trader to be precise, with Access Bank. Thank you for joining us, Senator.
Thanks for having me, Anete.
Okay, Senator. So I would like you to give me more details because we do not have an official statement from the government, but when are we expecting to have this announcement of the results of the $500 million domestic dollar bond, which was it closed just sometime last week on Friday?
Yes. So for the early feelers we are getting is that it was a very successful outing for the federal government. We hear that the offer was oversubscribed. The offer at that auction was about $500 million. We hear that the subscription was much more than that. As to the exact size, the settlement for that auction is tomorrow, so we should have some clarity on that when that official statement is made. And the program size, the total size that the federal government put out was $2 billion. This first series was for $500 million. So following the results and the settlement that we expect tomorrow, we will now get more clarity on the direction on the balance.
Okay, so from the domestic dollar bond, let's talk about the first NTB auction carried out yesterday at the close of trading yesterday. We saw that the central bank had offered about $233.31 billion, but it was absolutely oversubscribed at about 1.07 trillion naira, which was received across the three tenors of the bills. So now, what does this tell us about this first Treasury bills auction by the central bank for this month?
Yes, so the first auction, the first NTB auction for the month was held yesterday. As you explained, the subscription was significant at over 1 trillion. The offer at that auction was just 233 billion. So it did show that the DMO still has a lot of interested subscribers in its securities. So at that auction, the DMO stuck to his guns. The amount sold was exactly what was on offer, 233 billion. As a result of that increased or that very high subscription, we saw stock rates across all three Treasury bills drop. To give you an insight into what happened, the 364-day bill, the 1-year bill, declined from about 20.9% that we had seen at the preceding auction to 18.94% yesterday. Immediately following the auction, we started seeing offers on that 1-year bill at sub 18% levels. However, we did see a moderation toward the end of yesterday and early today to the low 18% levels. On the bond side, the same story still prevalent. So at that window or at that market, we've seen the 2033s trade at very low rates to at as low as 19.7%. This bond had closed at the auction at about 21.5%. So the bullish sentiment is strong in the fixed income market.
Okay, finally, just 20 seconds, Senator. What is the intraday market movement across both the fixed income market as well as the money market and the currencies markets right now?
So as a result of the series of auctions we've seen, particularly on the Treasury bill side, we saw an OMO auction on Monday and an NTB auction yesterday. We've seen a significant decline in liquidity. Liquidity figures opened the week north of about 600 billion. As at today, we've seen the liquidity numbers print at a repo that's a negative figure of under 300 billion, about 220 billion today.
Okay, Senator, I think we'll leave it there, of course. And of course, continue to keep our expectations out for that domestic dollar bond result, which we should expect it to come out by tomorrow. So thank you so much for your analysis on the show.
Thank you, Anity.